BMRForum.com and BMRodds.com. What is going on? Bobby FK back with episode 123, 123 episode of The Lobby. As always, looks like Sam and Donnie color coordinated shirts, but let's jump over to you, Donnie. What's up, buddy?
Happy Friday. Man, feeling good this week. Happy Friday to everybody out there. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to play against Carson Wentz this weekend in a pivotal game. Who would have thought that? But since last time we talked, again, my Philadelphia Phillies out of the playoffs, but the Dodgers are snatching everybody's soul, so it just doesn't feel as bad right now. So good times, the NFL, a lot of stuff to look forward to, including some good college football tonight, too.
Let's jump over to the man who's stuck at work. Mr. Sam's in charge. Sammy, I see a little bit of gray receding on this side right there. Yeah, what's going on with that?
First off, it's not receding. All right, this is some beautiful hair. I know you're jealous of my hair. We talk about it every week. But my dad, my two brothers, both are bald, and I got my mom's beautiful gray hair, which I embrace. I am a silver fox. All right, so you know, don't knock what you can't have, Bobby, because you're looking at a little Costanza over there. All right. Oops. And also, I appreciate that I can spin around in my chair and make you laugh like a child.
Yes, you do. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, guys? We're about to make some money here on this Friday. That's all I got to say, man.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And last but not least, out in beautiful Vegas, Reload. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, doing well here. Part of the fall, of course. And seeing Jimmy's gray hair. My dad used to be called the Gray Fox, so it was the same thing. That was his nickname too, and he was a car salesman most of his life. So it did pay off to look older. I think I think customers respect the older salesmen, thinking they're experienced and they know what they're doing, and that's the way to go. I have to say.
Gabby, is there any truth to that at your dealership?
I mean, I will say that this is my second time doing finance. I did finance when I was 26, 27 years old, and I was respected, but I definitely feel different being 35. I do have a ring. That means I've been here over 10 years. I am in my mid-30s now, and a lot of my salesmen are 20, 21, 22, 25, and they all look up to me because I was the top salesman, and now I'm a respected manager. Whereas 8 years ago, I was still young. A lot of my guys were older than me, and there's always that dynamic of I'm older than you, even though you're my boss, I'm still older than you. Where now I'm older than these guys, so not only do they look up to me, but they also respect me because you got to respect your elders.
That's right.
Exactly right. But Donnie, let me jump over to you. Let's get this started with some baseball. We got two games tonight. Dodgers leading 3-0 in their series against the Brewers, and then a really close one with the Blue Jays and Mariners, game 5. What do you got tonight?
Yeah, yesterday my BMR videos did pretty well. I had an over and an under. Hit the over in the Seattle game, hit the under in the Dodgers game, and tonight back for a little bit more. Toronto and Seattle, I'm just going to roll with the punches here. Toronto's bats are absolutely hot. I do like Gausman as a pitcher, don't get me wrong. He's been pretty good over the past 60 days. Miller has struggled, but for me, give me the over 7. It ain't broke, don't fix it. Toronto, man, they are smashing at the plate. This series is tied up 2-2. I have no idea how that's possible. Pivotal game 5 tonight. Give me the over 7. Milwaukee and Los Angeles, I don't care. When I did the video this morning and placed my bet, minus 190 on the Dodgers. They're just better than Milwaukee. Their starting pitcher is phenomenal in Shohei Ohtani. Every night they throw a dominant pitcher. I'll lay the heavy price. Dodgers close it out tonight. Give me them.
Righty, thank you, Donnie. Pipe over to you. Baseball tonight. What do you got?
I'm looking to Seattle win this game, and I like the Brewers against Donnie. I'm going with the Brewers and that under 7.5. I think the Brewers, as an underdog, are getting good money right now, and I see pulling it out in an under game. And I think it's good.
Righty, Pipe. Thank you, Sammy. Over to you.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Donnie. In terms of Toronto and Seattle, the road team has won all 4 games. But if you look at that over-under, the over has hit 3 out of the 4, and that over-under is sitting at 7 right now. And the bats are hot, so you got to take the teams that are batting hot and go with the over. Don't worry about who wins, just root for some runs. And then on the other side, again, just like Donnie, how do you bet against the Dodgers right now, defending World Series champions? They've only given up 1 run in each of the first 3 games, and their starting pitching has been just flawless. Video game numbers. If you're not looking to lay the juice, my only insight would maybe be to take the Brewers team total under. Again, just based off what we've just been talking about with the starting pitching and the lack of Brewers bats, if you don't want to lay the juice, just go with that under 2.5 runs for the Brewers, and you'll get a little bit better juice.
All righty, Sammy. Thank you. And last but not least, Reload baseball tonight. What do you got, buddy?
Yeah, well, I'm going to go against what the guys here have been saying. I'm going to go under 7 with the Blue Jays and Mariners.
Oh, come on.
I do. I do think. I think with the higher octane games, the over's gone cash 3 times in a row in the series. But now I think there's some value going the other way with the under 7. I think it's because it's a pivotal game 5. I think no one's going to give an inch. I think it's going to be one of those long dragged out games where they're fighting for that last run. And I think under 7 is a good total here. So under 7 there. Dodgers Brewers, I'm going to pass on that one and just kind of hope that series is over. Just get it over with. I hope the Dodgers just end it right now, but I'm not going to bet it or make any leans.
Righty, thank you, Reload. Poker event week number 9 this week, guys. That means you have 3 more chances to get your hands on some weekly baller coins and then some end of the season baller coins. As you all know, after 12 weeks, we have our big poker tournament event final championship series with a ton of baller coins to be given out for that. So as I say each and every week, I love to see a lot of new, fresh faces playing in the poker tournament. If you guys have any questions on how any of it runs, please feel free and reach out to me. I'd be happy to see you involved. But Donnie, let me jump it over to you. Let's talk some college football. How was last week for you, and what do you got this upcoming weekend?
Yeah, not too bad last week. And again, you got some pretty good games. And now we're starting to come down to some of those times where it's like, these playoff teams that want to get in, like USC and Notre Dame. It's basically an elimination game. USC ranked around like that 20th area. They lose to Notre Dame. They'll be bounced out of it. If Notre Dame wins here, they can continue. But if Notre Dame loses, they'll get bounced out and then advantage USC. But I like the LSU Vanderbilt game. LSU is a really good football program. If you would have told me 10 years ago that there's going to be a game coming up where LSU is going to be an underdog to Vanderbilt, I never would have believed you. But here we are, minus 1.5 points. Hasn't moved all week. I'm going to back Vanderbilt and Diego Pavia in this game. And also look for a rushing prop to the over for Diego Pavia. If they win this game, it's going to be built on his legs and the strength of their offense versus the defense of LSU. That's going to be a pretty fun game to watch it play out. Notre Dame. Style points make sense. They need them. I see this line and say to myself, most people are going to say, boy, 10.5, 9.5 points here. I'm going to take USC. I'm going to buck the trend. I'm going to go Notre Dame at home in a rainy game with one of the best backfields in football to win by double digits to continue their good play. So I'll stick with those 2 games. And also just rooting for the Miami Hurricanes. They're 2 touchdown favorites. I'm going to lay off that game, but I'm interested to see what Carson Beck and the boys do tonight.
All righty, Donnie, thank you. Pipe college football last weekend for you. How was it? What do you got this upcoming weekend?
This weekend I got a bunch of plays. We're going to go with that under Miami 49.5 against Louisville. I like those points. We're getting 11.5. That's a double-digit dog. Not passing that up. I also like North Carolina +9. That looks good to me. Nebraska -7. And we got James Madison against Old Dominion. I'm going James Madison -2.5. We got Marshall against Texas State +2.5. I'm taking Marshall there. We got Arizona against Houston. Arizona -1 takes the money. South Carolina against a ranked number 4 Oklahoma. I'm taking the points there. I get 4.5. Hey, I think that's a 3-point game. And we got, last but not least, West Virginia against UCF. I'm taking 7.5. Notice most of our dogs, guys.
Righty, Pipe, thank you. How was last weekend for you in college football?
It was pretty good, man. I did better in the NFL in that Atlanta game. The Falcons.
All righty. Sammy, let me jump over to you. College football last weekend and this upcoming weekend, buddy. What do you got and how do you do?
Yeah, last week was pretty good. Alabama keeps rolling. Texas is back on the winning streak, and they finally fired James Franklin that we've been begging for weeks and years, and they finally did it and got one of the best buyouts in the history. And then Indiana just got a record-setting, contract there. It's interesting, how much money is just thrown at these coaches and players and organizations. God bless all this fucking money. Go out and get yours. But yeah, I mean, I always highlight a lot of the marquee matchups of the week, a lot of the top 25 matchups. So Saturday you have 5 matchups with teams that are ranked inside the top 25. Number 10, LSU. At number 17, Vanderbilt. I do like Vanderbilt as well, like Donnie mentioned. You got number 5, Mississippi. At number 9, Georgia. Georgia's 7.5-point favorite. That's a hook number for me. I hate that number. I do like the opposite. I think Mississippi plus 7.5 is the right play there at Georgia. Tennessee at Alabama, and Alabama's 8.5 points there. Another one of those funky lines because, if you're favored by 7, it really means 10. 8.5, you're not covering 9.
That's
It really
right.
means 10 plus.
Yeah.
I do like Bama. They're one of the hottest teams in college, especially after everyone, wrote them off after week 1. But I think Tennessee can keep it close. And again, it's one of those games where you're down by 15 points. And you can get one of those backdoor covers. Alabama to win, Tennessee plus the points. I'm with Donnie on Notre Dame to beat up on USC. And then the last top 25 matchup is pretty interesting. You got Utah 23 at BYU 15. BYU is at home. They are 6-0 and they are home underdogs, which really brings you to, BYU's schedule versus Utah and what they think about BYU. But if you're just looking on paper, square days, square pick 15, they're the better seed, they're the better rank, they're the better team in terms of win-loss, and they're at home. Let's take BYU plus 3.5.
All right, Sammy, thank you. And last but not least, Reload. College football last weekend. How was it for you, buddy? And what do you got this weekend?
Yeah, last week went 1-2 here on the show. Cashed with Texas. That was a nice one in the Red River rivalry. But lost with Auburn, and that was a killer, guys. I mean, just watching that game, the way it all played out was like, I just couldn't believe it.
That was crazy.
Oh, yeah. Should have had that one with Auburn, and then it just all turned there. And I also lost with Utah State at the end of the night, of course. Why not end with one more loser? But I did go I had a better NFL, and I'll get to that later. But this week, so we got 4 picks. Tonight, I am going with Louisville plus the points. Agree with some of you guys there. I think with both teams going in on the bye week, it should be a pretty tight game, tighter than the spread indicates. And Cardinals are off their first loss of the year last time out, overtime loss in Virginia. So they've had a couple of weeks to get ready for this one. Miami, they were in some bigger matchups with Florida State, all that going into the bye week. I don't know if they're going to be up for this one. I think they may need to get a little warmed up again. So I think Miami will win, but that's a lot of points. So I'm taking Louisville. I also like Duke minus the points at home against undefeated Georgia Tech. Here's another one of these cases where you got an undefeated team, higher ranked, getting points. Looks real easy, but I think Duke wins it. They've strung together 3 wins in a row. Georgia Tech a little shakier on the road than at home. They had a squeaker at Wake Forest. I think it's a defeat coming up for the Yellow Jackets here. Then I've got 2 more picks. They're both letdown spots. One is Michigan State plus 27.5 at Indiana. We were talking about Indiana, the new contract the coach got and everything. What better game just to lay a complete egg after getting the big contract and having the game of their life at Oregon last week. 27.5, a lot of points here. I think a little bit of overshadowing here on this line with Indiana now that they're basically, I guess, becoming kind of a public team here in college football. But Michigan State, I like getting the cover here. And also, finally, we're going to go with Kentucky plus 12.5 at home to Texas. I did win with Texas last week with Oklahoma, but I think it's a letdown spot here for Texas. They played a nice game, beat Oklahoma soundly by the end of it. Kentucky's off a bye week here, and they're at home getting double digits. So Texas, I think, is ripe for a letdown here. They'll probably still win, but Kentucky gets the cover at home. So those are the 4 picks.
All righty, Reload. Thank you. And Pipe, I don't think you're with us anymore. Pipe, if you can hear me, I'm gonna boot you.
He's
Pipe,
searching.
Come out and back in for me, buddy. Come out and back in if you can hear me. 1 second, guys. I gotta take him out. There we go. Donnie, let me jump over to
Yeah.
you. Let's get a,
Yeah.
a review of your last week number
Yeah.
6 in football. How was it, NFL, buddy?
It was good. I'll tell you, here's the funny part about it. You know, the contest we have is a maximum of 28 points. I got 21 points. Do the math. I went 6-1. I lost the 7th, of course, on the Jacksonville Jaguars. So it was a pretty good week, and I had a lot of fun in prop bets, so not too bad. But this week, certainly looking for a decent weekend. We don't have those monster. The Monday night schedule actually should be pretty good. Sunday night football might be some fun, but if we're looking for like great games on Sunday, they're really not there, but there are some really good betting opportunities here. Are we going over who we have this week for our picks right now? I got them
Just
lined
wanted
up.
to hear how last week was for
Yeah, no, it
you.
was good.
And,
Yep, was good.
good.
Loved
Good.
it. Yeah.
Good. Awesome. Sammy, week number 6 in the NFL. How was it for you, buddy?
You know, I feel like I'm the type that as soon as I tell people that I'm successful, the world brings me back down. So last week we did a whole segment that I'm in first place in the
Yep.
contest,
Uh-huh.
and I went 2-5. All right.
Ah,
So now I'm sitting there in 5th place. Hey, we still got a fighter's chance. You know, like we said, it's a long season, but I went from an 8-point lead to like a 10-point deficit now. So shout out to J.R. Grum, who's now our new overall leader at 113 points. You got Tenelson 55 at 108, and then Dual Grab 9043. That was 3rd place last week with 26 points, shotting up the leaderboard. He's up to 105 overall, and I'm sitting there in 5th place at 102. Last week you had one guy that went undefeated, try, 28 points, 7-0. And then you got Law Smell. He went 6-1 with 27 points. And again, just like Donnie mentioned, you can go 6-1 and go 21 points, or you can go 6-1 and 27 points. So, and again, if you look at my record, I'm only a few games over 500, but I'm winning all my big confidence points. Last week I lost them all, which brought me down in the rankings. Time to get it back this week.
Exactly. And a quick shout out to all the guys playing in our wonderful contests. Come on over on the forum. We'd love to see you guys posting more, post your picks. We would love to see it. You know, the name, Sam, you say it almost every week. Pornhub Casino. That name just gets me for some reason.
Well, it's because you like,
Imagine if Pornhub came out with a casino, Sam.
Yeah.
There's enough casinos. We don't. I can only imagine. Listen, we know what happens when Pee Wee Herman went to a just a movie theater for that. You know, so let's not have that in public. We got enough issues going on.
Yes, we do. But
actually, unless we're betting on the actual sex itself, then that could be a whole other bar game. You know, under 9.5 minutes that he's going to last. You know, who's got the clock on that?
Yeah.
Well, that could be a real interesting way of looking at it, Sam. Huh?
Yeah, you know, I'm just trying to come up on your idea and take it to the next level.
Yeah, boy, these new prediction markets could really get out of control with that, huh?
Yeah. We can have some wonderful things on Kashi. They can come out with all kinds of things.
They just think of everything. Wow.
Pipe, I think, is back. Pipe, what's up,
back,
buddy?
Brothers. It's when I surf the page, it does that. It'll freeze on you.
No problem. We were going over NFL, man. How was your last weekend in the NFL?
It was good, man, and I got some players here. Some plays here. I like that Raiders plus 12. I like that Raiders plus 12 against the Chiefs. That's a division game. You know, you got to take the points in these division games, man. Same situation. I don't know. I'm thinking Miami plus 2.5. I like Miami. I like the Titans against my.
Pipe's picks.
You're cutting in and out, Pipe. I'm, wherever you're at, the connection is probably not good. Come out and back in if you can hear us. I'm going to boot you again. I'm sorry. No, there you're back.
Oh, he's back.
He's back. Pipe.
What's up,
I don't know what the hell's going on, guys. But anyways, Raiders plus 12 in that division game. Miami plus 2.5. I'm going with Titans against my Patriots. I usually don't bet against my team, but it's about the money. And I like Panthers -1, guys.
All righty. Awesome. I know Philly Flyers will be very happy to hear that Raiders pick. That's for damn sure. But reload. Let me jump over to you, buddy. Last weekend in the NFL, week number 6. How was it for you?
It was great. Went 5-0 Sunday. Gave all the picks out right here on the show.
Yes, you did.
I said, you did. Pittsburgh, any number, baby. They just ran the table on that one and covered it wire to wire. Carolina squeaked out a win. Didn't need the points there. Got the Bengals cover with Joe Flacco, and he had another nice game last night. And then finished it off with Kansas City and the under in the Chiefs Lions game. So swept the board. I can't remember the last time I went 5-0 on a Sunday. Maybe the beat the prick days. I think it might have been.
That was fantastic.
Yeah. So yeah, rocking chair was out. Looking forward to more this weekend.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on your wonderful week reload. Keep it up into this weekend. But jumping over to Donnie, week number 7. Let me get your 7 for week 7.
Yeah, we'll keep it simple. I had a nice contrarian view last week and worked out pretty well. I'm not going to do really the same this weekend. We're going to play some situations. I'm going to take the Jaguars getting 2.5 in that game in London. Jags used to going over there. The Rams are a good football team. Also understand this. The Rams practice on the East Coast at Camden Yards all week before they fly out this weekend to play in London. But also Puka Nacua not going to play in this game. That gives the Jags a slight advantage. Even though they're getting points, I'll take the 2.5 on the neutral site. I'm going to take the Panthers over the Jets. Now, this one might come back and bite me because the true contrarian view in this one is to just fade the Jets. The Jets are only getting 1.5 points, which means they have a legitimate chance to win. I just can't back them just yet, even though I'm interested to see what they do. Give me the Panthers -1.5. The Browns and the Dolphins pipe like the Dolphins. I'm going Browns. This team with the Dolphins just looks like they're ready to implode, but also 30, 40, 50-mile-an-hour winds and some rain expected. I just don't know if the Dolphins are going to be built for that at point. I'll take the low numbers here with the Browns at -2.5. I'm going to back my Philadelphia Eagles. It's do or die. It's Carson Wentz. You don't beat them. Shut it all down at this point. Another cheap number at 2.5. I'm also going to take the Chargers to knock off the Colts here. Even though it's a banged-up offensive line for the Chargers, some defensive inadequacies in the secondary for the Colts, which includes some injuries, I think creeps up. But also, full complement of wide receivers for the Chargers. It's a light price for a home team. Give me the -1.5. Also, the 2 Monday Night Football games, I'm taking the Lions. I know they're banged up in the secondary, and all Baker Mayfield does is win. But they're a different specimen, the Lions, at home than they are on the road. I'm going to take them to win that game by a touchdown against the depleted Buccaneers team. And then Pacific Northwest, I'll take the Texans. It's just the price is right. 3.5 points. I think we have a slugfest. I'll take the points in that one.
You're right, Donnie. Thank you. Sammy, let me jump over to you. What is your 7 for week 7?
Yeah, some similarities and some differences. I'm with Donnie with Carolina over the Jets. The fear with Carolina is that they're 3-0 at home and they're 0-3 on the road. The fear with the Jets is that they're the worst team in football. I mean, they are winless. I mean, even the Titans somehow beat Arizona, even though they had no right to it, plus 10,000 in that live game. But, you know, the Jets are horrific. And again, being in upstate, I got a bunch of coworkers that are bleeding green that we make fun of on a daily basis. And it's one of those where you're getting Carolina at a pick. If the Jets win, God bless them. But why are you ever putting money on the Jets? If you're putting your money on them, God bless you. I like the Bears over New Orleans. New Orleans did come back to reality as I expected last week, and they did not. They not only did they lost last week and they didn't cover. And I'm going to go with the Bears. Surprising offense, surprisingly good offense. You know, they'd squeaked out a win on the road, and now they're coming back home. And New Orleans again, arguably top 5 worst team in the league. Let's take the Bears by less than a touchdown. I like the Giants plus 7.5 against Denver. Part of my reasoning, just like last week, the Giants home to Philly plus 7.5, just like I talked about in college. 7.5 is one of the worst lines in all of football. If you're on the minus side, if you're on the plus side, it's such a great number. That's the hook number. That means the team has to win by 8, which really is like 10 plus. You could always get the backdoor cover. And that offense, it's alive over there. Cam Scatterbo, you know, walking CTE, one of the most exciting players in the NFL. And it might be saving Gable his job. I mean, one of the worst coaches in the league, but might be getting his job saved by them winning a couple games. The Giants' expectation isn't high. If they win 5 games, that might save Gable his job, and they're basically halfway there. I'm with Donnie. I like the Chargers at a short price at home against the Colts. And of course, fool me once, fool me twice, fool me 17 times. I'm not going to not take the Cowboys at a pick as a home underdog. Again, one of the best offenses, and they had one of the best offenses against Carolina, except their play call in the fourth quarter, they took 2 screen passes for negative 12 yards, which gave Carolina the ball back, which gave them the field goal win. If Cowboys offense in the fourth quarter just throws the ball forward, they can win by a field goal. So this bad decision making right there. Their defense, horrific, but their offense can compete with anyone. Sunday night football, I like the Falcons over San Fran. You know, San Fran should be more than a field goal favorite. The fact that they're less than a field goal kind of gives me that edge towards the Falcons. Who to think? The NFL parity from week to week is insane. 2 weeks ago, the Falcons got blown out. What was it, 28-0 to Carolina or something like that? Now they've come back with 2 straight wins. How is that supposed to happen? So let's just go with the parity and let's just go with the Falcons. And then, like Donnie, I do like Detroit, who is 0-2 on the road and 4-0 at home. They're such a dominant home team, and they're going to be putting up a ton of points. Can that Tampa Bay offense keep up with Detroit? Yes, but at 30 points, I'm not sure if they can keep up with them. So as long as Detroit's going 30 plus, they should be able to cover. If Detroit only gets about 21 to 24 points, then Tampa Bay will likely cover. But that's what I'm looking at for this week.
Baker's been pretty decent, you know. He's the comeback kid, you know. He's came back earlier in the season a couple times. I mean, you know, when Baker was at the Panthers and then they shipped him to the Rams, I think that was his turning point. Because remember, guys, he was in Cleveland, and Cleveland shit canned him. How do you think Cleveland feels right now? Damn. We only wouldn't have fucking got rid of him.
Cleveland currently is paying 8 quarterbacks.
You know, and then he went to the Rams, guys. And then he went to the Rams.
And then
that's
he
when, I
saved
don't know
his
if you
life
guys
when he
remember,
was in the
on the
Rams
that
with the
night,
98-yard
and he
drive.
won that game. First game in, I mean, he had what, 2-3 days to get ready, kind of like Flacco did. And boom. And that's when Tampa snagged him up to replace Brady.
It was a 98-yard drive.
Brady's the best ever.
And then he brought him in behind Brady. That was the perfect spot for him.
And last but not least, Reload, let me jump over to you.
Sam, he's proved his worth, man. You know, Baker's pretty good. I didn't respect him when he was with his college team. I'm going to be honest with you. But, man, I learned to respect because, you know, you kick a guy down, you know, there's only up to go from there.
Of course.
You got no other place but to go up. And he did.
That's actually a really good mantra in life. You know, when life kicks you down, you can only get up. You can't get worse.
That's it, man. You don't worry about what you don't have control of, man.
100%, man. Good analogy. Reload, let me jump over to you, buddy. Week 7 in the NFL. What do you got?
Yeah, we're going to try to stay hot this week. I've got 4 plays. I'm going to start with Chiefs-Raiders game. And I know we touched on this one already. I do like the Raiders also, plus the 11.5. I also like the under 45.5 in that one. I think we're looking at a reasonably competitive, close game. I know the Raiders haven't been that good, but I think it's more of like a Chiefs are just going to take care of business kind of game. The last 3 times the Raiders visited Kansas City, the games were decided by 6 points or less. So I think same thing here, and maybe the back door could also be open at the end. You never know. But, yeah, I'm looking for low-scoring type of game with the under 45.5 and the Raiders plus 11.5. 2 more picks. I've got the Arizona Cardinals plus 6.5 at home against the Green Bay Packers. Packers not won a road game this season yet. Remember, they had the tie in Dallas and they had a loss in Cleveland earlier than that. So they haven't won a game on the road yet they're a big road favorite here, 6.5. I think that's overvaluing them too much. We know the Cardinals have been kind of struggling, you know, but it's been a lot of close losses. They've been in all the games lately, lost 4 in a row, but they're all decided by 4 points or less. And, you know, you take away things like that clunker fumble play and all that with the Titans, they probably should be winning a couple of those games at least. So I like the Cardinals plus 6.5. And finally, I am going to take the 49ers minus 1.5 at home against the Falcons. I know Sammy touched on this one, but I am going to fade Atlanta here. I seem to be going on again, off again. Whoa. Falcons kind of I'm going both ways on them this season, and this is against the Falcons this time. I do think the Falcons are in for a lot here on a short week. After the win at home on Monday against Buffalo, remember that win, I think they had a bye week and everything else going into that. Now they have to go west on a short week, and they face a 49ers team that's off a loss. And we know what happened last time they lost. They roared right back with a win against the Rams. So I think the same thing happens here. 49ers minus the short number at home in my final play there.
All righty, Reload. Thank you. And good luck to everyone out there with all your action in all the major sports tonight. Above all else, enjoy.
3 of us on the Panthers, baby. 3 of us. Come on, we all can't be wrong.
Exactly right. Well, you guys enjoy all the wonderful sports action this upcoming weekend, guys. Good luck on your plays.
Hey, you all take care and have a blessed weekend, man. Get that money.
We'll see you on the 4.